A lot of my viewers and a lot of my subscribers can probably tell that that is my computer case on the screen right now. I've been using that computer case ever since 2009, and I've had it looking like it does right now ever since around December of 2012. It's worked for me pretty good so far, but I've just recently purchased some new hardware that I can install in the expansion bays, and we're going to look at that new hardware right now. Today I'm going to do an unboxing video of the Masscool MR3100. It's an internal hard drive enclosure. It fits the 2.5-inch hard drives as well as the 3.5-inch hard drives, and it'll fit into pretty much any expansion bay on a generic ATX case. We might as well get to it real quick here. There we see the actual unit. We see some cables for it and a manual, and it looks like there's really about all there is to it. Not much. So there's the unboxing. This particular card reader is USB 2.0. Some of you may have SD cards or compact flash cards that will exceed the read and write speed of USB 2.0. In that case, you can get a USB 3.0 version of this particular product. This particular product was only, I think, $9.99, and I think for like $17 you can get the USB 3.0 version. They pretty much have identical configuration other than one's USB 2.0, the other one's USB 3.0. We might as well get into the unboxing right now. You can see the packaging. Here's the actual card reader. It does have a USB 2.0 port. The USB 3 version will have a USB 3 port, which can actually come in handy along with all the card reading slots. It'll pretty much read any card that's out there on the market. I'll probably actually just leave the black faceplate on there. Some of you might have seen that they had the faceplate for silver, beige, so it's nice that they give you all the options depending on what's going to actually suit your particular ATX case the best. This is the end result of what my computer now looks like with the new hardware installed. I think it looks better than it did before. I wasn't really trying to make it look better though. I wanted to give it more functionality. Lately I've been using a lot of my cameras, whether they be the DSLR cameras or even my little camcorders, and obviously they take the SD card, so it's just a lot more convenient to have the card reader right there within the computer case itself rather than hooking up an external card reader. I also think that by having the two hot swappable drive bays be almost identical, I know the one has the USB ports on it and the other one doesn't, but they kind of match, and I think it looks a little bit nicer than it did before. I really couldn't get the USB 3.0 version because my USB headers for the motherboard are already being used by that one hot swappable hard drive bay enclosure. I'm hoping in the not so distant future they'll have a hard drive enclosure like the one you see, but instead of being USB ports, they'll actually have Thunderbolt ports. Some of my viewers and subscribers might remember back in 2009, I had two hot swappable drive bays like the one on top. That worked out pretty good for my needs. All I had to do was actually buy like a 2 terabyte drive or a 4 terabyte drive, have my operating system, my programs, and also all my media content on that one drive. If I had to back up the data, I could just put another drive up in the top hot swappable drive bay. That was actually a good way to do it. But obviously the better way was to actually start getting solid state drives and putting the operating system on the solid state drive because the computer would boot faster. And then I could actually just put media content on like a 2 terabyte drive or a 4 terabyte drive, and then it was easy to make a copy. So some of you have seen my, computer progress over the years, getting, I would say better components on it. A lot of you probably remember when I had the floppy drive in there as well. That was when I had the two hot swappable drive bays like the one on top. And I was just going to take this part of the video to ask some of you, if you're watching this video, what would you do with this particular computer case if you had it? What would you put in the expansion bays that you see? I know for myself, what I've got right now is the best option for me, but I know some of you might have some totally different configurations that you would like to do with this particular computer case. As I mentioned before, I've had this computer case since 2009. The reason why I'm holding on to this case for so long, even though it's getting some wear and tear on it, you can see the buttons, the silver paint's coming off. Also, you can tell that the surface itself, where it's spray painted gray, it's getting scratches on it. And I know some people could say underneath that gray spray paint is black, underneath that silver for the power buttons is black. You could use nail polish remover and make it an all black case, and it would look a lot sharper than it does now. Some people are saying for the card reader and for the hard drives where you got the on and off, you could take nail polish remover and wipe off the text on it. I'm not that worried about it. I think it looks fine the way it is. I'm not going to mess around with it. But I do know my computer case is getting wear and tear. It's just I can't really find anything that could actually replace this computer case that's still in the micro ATX form factor. The main reason it's hard to find a case to replace this particular one is because it does have 3 of the larger expansion bays. Most micro ATX cases only have 2 of the larger expansion bays, and then they might have 1 or 2 of the smaller expansion bays. I just want to say real quick that if I was to stripe together 4 internal hard drives into a RAID array, I could probably eliminate 1 of the larger expansion bays. I'm not sure exactly how I would configure it after doing that, but I could get a micro ATX case that only does have 2 of the larger expansion bays. I'd probably also want to get one then that also had 2 of the smaller expansion bays to still give me 4 expansion bays overall. There's basically an endless amount of configurations that could be done with this particular case, as well as a lot of ATX cases. I'll be looking forward to hearing your comments and hearing how you have your case set up.